Oh, you asked me for a mic check. I'm sorry. Is it coming through a little funny to y'all? Both of you? Connor, you got a shorten cable or something? Mixer? Haze? Oh, is it sound better now? Still got a hum in it? See anything when I'm not talking, Darren? Is that better? Is it okay now, or you still have a hiss? What about now? The Pearson Club level? I can almost hear it, I feel like. October 3rd, 2017. The Citadel weekly football press conference. Bulldogs now 3-1 overall, 1-1 in Southern Conference play. For now, the Bulldogs now 17th in both FCS polls released yesterday, both the coaches poll and the Stats weekly poll. Our two cadet athletes here today: junior offensive lineman Tyler Davis. He has 16 consecutive starts for the Bulldogs on the offensive line, and Kylie Williams, a senior safety. They'll both speak after Coach Thompson. At this time, I'll ask Coach Thompson to come up to the podium, give an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Thanks, Zeke. Well, first of all, looking forward to being back at home this week. It was been about 35 days since we played at home. It's one of the longest stretches of anyone in college football this season, so we'll be excited for just to be back at home. We spent a lot of time on the road. We've had some long trips over the past 5 weeks now, with one bye week in between. So once again, it's certainly be nice for our players to be back at home. It is family weekend. It is ring weekend, which is always a great atmosphere. It's always a great weekend for especially our rising seniors, or our senior class right now, and our fifth-year guys. Excited about getting their rings and excited about being a part of the Band of Gold. Last week's game wasn't very indicative of the way that we've played over the last 2 years, especially, and I take most of the blame for that. I don't think that we had them ready to play. We came out of the gates, got a little bit of a slow start there, and when that happens, I think we didn't know how we were going to react. We were on the road. That's a tough one. I thought Sanford came out with great intensity. We didn't match their intensity very well. And it's one of those things that we've got to work on. I think this week we've got to focus on ourselves, focus on being more probably basic, fundamental, and being able to get a little bit faster start. And once again, that all comes back to me. If we're missing blocks and missing tackles, that's fundamentals, and we can handle those things from a coaching aspect, and that's what we're going to work on this week. Once again, just getting back to doing what we do, playing Citadel football. We entered the game leading the nation on third down with 60%. We only converted 3 of 13. That's obviously a concern of ours. I thought we had some pretty good individual efforts. Jordan Black had a good effort. He had about 200 yards, had a couple of nice runs in there, and certainly helped us out in some ways. As far as the quarterback position is concerned, we're going to continue to operate as we have over the last 3 or 4 games, and even going back to last year. You'll probably see Jordan Black out there some, but Dominique will be the starter, and I think that's moving forward. That's the direction that we're going to go in. As I told the players, we don't really need to change anything. We just need to do things a little bit better than we did. We need to come out with a little bit more intensity, and once again, we need to get a faster start. After the game, I just addressed the way that we had played and the fact that I thought we could have done a much better job of executing some fundamentals out there. And once again, we need to be able to come out of the gates with a little bit more enthusiasm. Once again, Sanford did a good job of playing physical football against us. There's some individual efforts on the defensive side as well. The defensive line, right now they're top 20 nationally, total defense and rush defense. We've got Ken Allen and Jalen Williams and Trayvon White. Guys are doing a good job, so I look forward to continuing with those guys. This week's game, we've got Wofford coming in as Mercer coming in as a SoCon opponent. They have played some pretty good Southern Conference teams. They had a good win last week against VMI. They had a close one against Wofford, and really I thought they had the lead for most of the game. And Wofford was able to come back late and be able to score two quick touchdowns on them. Played a Jacksonville team out of the Pioneer League, and then also played Auburn very close. So one of those teams that will be a top Southern Conference team here. Lost to ETSU in overtime. We've got to do a better job against these guys of being more basic on offense. We've got to play faster on offense. Our younger offensive line's got to be able to handle a little bit more of the defensive front. And on the defensive side, we got to get back to doing what we're doing, and that's forcing them into a pass game and really defending the run. Any questions?
Sorry about that. Has it been hard getting into a rhythm over the past month or so, given what you guys had to do as far as travel-wise, and then you had the off week? I mean, has it been hard to kind of settle in a little bit? Yeah,
typically there is a rhythm to the season, and we haven't found one just yet. After the second game being on the road, being moved from a home game to an away game, and then spending a few days on the road, and then coming back for a bye week. So it's been a little bit off for us, but once again, we should still be able to overcome those obstacles, and we make no excuses.
I know you said it was kind of you didn't really come out starting the way you should have, but is a loss like that, when you've had so much success, when you get down like that, does it just kind of change the way you react when you're just not used to being in a situation like that?
Well, the interesting, Darren, we've been down before. We haven't been down by quite that large of a margin. We have typically been a second half team, so it didn't surprise me that we battled and we fought our way back in the second half, which I thought was the highlight of the day, was we were able to move the football. But really, when it came down to it on the offensive side, is we weren't able to stick the ball in the end zone when we really needed it. We shot ourselves in the foot a couple times with the penalties, which we needed to clean up. And we also, we've got to convert on some of those fourth downs. Defensively, we played an excellent second half. We kind of got back to basics on defensive side, as well as the offensive side. But really, a triple option team should be able to score more in the red zone.
Brent, that was, during your tenure as head coach, that's probably the biggest flop, I guess, the team has had. How did you sort of react to that personally? Was there a lot of soul searching, or were you quick to put it behind you? What would you say about that?
I had a 7-hour bus trip to figure it out, and by the time that I got back on the from the 7-hour bus trip, I knew exactly what I was going to say to the team. I knew exactly what I was the approach that we were going to take, and the approach I took with the team on Sunday was this: is once again, let's just focus on ourselves. What we're doing, there's no need to hit any panic button. We're 3-1, and there's plenty of teams out there that would love to be 3-1. It just feels bad right now because it's been a while. So moving forward is all we can do is really focus on doing what we do and doing it a little bit better. And I promised them that I would do a much better job of coaching and getting us ready and coaching the fundamentals that we need to get done this week.
It's only Tuesday, but how are they reacting? Or do you like what you see so far?
We had a great Sunday practice. The one thing that I watched was demeanor out there, and I saw very few heads down. I made sure that our heads were up and that we were ready to fight another day. The good thing about practicing on Sundays, you get Saturday out of you. The problem for me is I got to relive it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Brent, do you plan any personnel changes? And if you wanted to do that, do you have enough competitive depth on the roster where you could effectively do that if you wanted to?
We do at certain positions. I wouldn't say at all, but no, we don't plan on any. We've got a couple of maybe subtle adjustments that we're going to make personnel-wise, but I don't think that there's anything that's going to be shocking or astounding or anything. Once again, that signals to me panic. That signals to me that, we're doing something wrong here. Well, maybe we just had a bad outing. Maybe we need to refocus ourselves. Maybe it was what we needed. And there's all those things that come into play and come into your mind. So the one thing that we've got to fight off is the fact that we need to change some things, and really nothing's broken.
I guess having the opportunity to come back home when you had a home game taken away from you, Mercer's coming in just off a loss. It seems like this is a bigger Saturday than normal just because of the circumstances of the season. What's the opportunity Saturday, I guess?
Well, opportunity is one to get a home game win, SoCon win. Certainly if we come to play, we'll have an opportunity to win. It'll also be an opportunity for us to kind of wipe away last week. And that's probably the most important thing, is to really display what we're really all about, what Citadel football is all about, what it's become, instead of the way we showed up last weekend.
Brent, it was definitely a team effort on Saturday, but was there anything Dom struggled with in particular, or what would you say about his performance?
Oh, Dominique? No, I don't think it was anything to do with that. And really, it was the typical the ebb and the flow of the game. Is when I put Jordan in there, is we kind of just were able to move it a little bit, and I just kind of went with that. And it's been very typical of the way this year's gone. As ETSU a couple of weeks ago is played Jordan for a couple of snaps, but Dominique finished the game for us. Dominique finished the game against, Jordan finished the game against Presbyterian. We had a little bit of a lead there, gave Dom a little bit of a break. So I've got two capable quarterbacks. They're very, very good. They're both different in certain ways. They both bring different advantages to the game plan. But neither one of them, I think they both handle it very well. I don't think either one of them has has any probably bad feelings about it. They play the way they played, and we're going to get better from it.
And just what's your view of Mercer? They've lost a lot of close games in the league. You kind of worried that they're going to start winning those close games sooner or later?
Absolutely. They're young on offense, and what ends up happening is you've got a young quarterback on offense, and he starts to get 100 snaps, 150, 200 live game snaps to him, and he gets a lot better. As having coached the quarterbacks, that's the natural evolution of a quarterback, and there's going to be a day out there where he's going to have a tremendous day. So I think on the offensive side, and they've got the Leggett, who's a great running back there. He's kind of coming into his own, starting to play a little bit more over the course of the last two games. Great wide receiver out there. I think they're one of the best defenses in the conference, and statistically they are. They're a little bit older on defense, so this team is certainly one of those teams, and they're well coached by Coach Lane.
Brent, a lot of coaches are kind of horsewhipping their student bodies to get out and to stay throughout games. You don't really seem to have that much of a problem here. What kind of advantage does that make it when you got all your students that come and that stick around?
First of all, it makes it unique. It makes it a unique environment for us. It's actually one of the great traditions that we have here at the Citadel, the march on, as well as the core that gets to stand and be a part of the fan base here. So it's one of those home field advantages that we haven't been able to probably enjoy over the last 35 days. So we're looking forward to it. Like I said, it's one of those rare occasions where you've got your entire student body at your games, which is something exciting. We all live together, we all go to class together, and then we all cheer for the same team, which is nice.
Okay, up next, junior offensive lineman Tyler Davis. Going to come up and take questions. 16 consecutive starts for Tyler, and the Bulldogs right now the nation's #2 rushing offense in FCS.
Tyler, you really haven't been through a game like that in your career at the Citadel where you fell behind so quickly. Is there a lot of soul searching after that, or you kind of quickly put it behind you? What's sort of your review on how you should respond to that?
We'll definitely put it behind us. The one thing from that game is no matter how far or how many points we were behind, everyone felt like we still were going to win. We still had a chance. No one hung their heads down or anything. We still kept fighting to the end of the game.
Can you think of any reason for the slow start and maybe a little flat at the beginning? Did you see that coming at all?
Didn't see it coming, but offensively we just started off not playing very physical. Had a lot of penalties early on and ended up hurting us.
Do you think the guys are reacting the way you'd like to see them Sunday and Monday?
Sunday and Monday, of course, they came back. No one was pointing fingers at anyone, blaming anyone. We were looking forward to this Mercer team coming in.
Just when you're not used to losing, I mean, this team hasn't lost a regular season game in a long time. What's that feel like when you're coming off the field? Is it kind of a gut check, or is it what's it feel like?
Definitely it doesn't feel good, but we always look at the bright side of things, and we can learn from this. We can practice harder, learn to play harder, start the game off more physical, and see where we can go from here.
Does it give any type of like a reality check, or kind of make you reassess where you guys, how you prepare or anything like that?
Definitely. I mean, we're human. We're not going to win every game. We know that's going to happen. And from now on, we know we need to prepare harder, and know that the teams are all out to get us now. We're not that team that will sneak up on everyone. We're two-time Southern Conference champions, so everyone's going to bring their best to us. We need to prepare that way.
How nice is it to have a home game this week?
It feels great, to be back, and me being a local and not living too far from here, to have family that can come up to this game, and we're looking forward to putting on a show for the seniors who are getting the rings.
All right, lastly, senior safety Kylie Williams, 2 interceptions on the season, had a team-high 11 tackles in Saturday's game.
Clay, I asked you the same question. You guys haven't lost a regular season conference game in quite a while. How did it feel Saturday coming off the field?
Didn't feel too good, knowing that we could have did better and we should have did better. But just got to move on.
When you look back on the week and the preparation, can you think of any reason why it happened the way it did?
No, not really. Not. I don't believe we lost during the week. I just believe when the game came on, they're just more ready than us.
Thank you.
Like that in a while, like what do you do?
You go look at the game, you learn from it, you cover the mistakes, and you just got to come play better.
know you guys on defense are a proud unit. Did this shake your confidence at all in what you guys are doing, particularly in the secondary?
No, it didn't shake our confidence. We're still at the same rotation and everything. We just didn't have our day. Didn't have our best day.
Walk us through the interception. I guess that was one kind of a good spot for you that ended up in your hands on that one.
It was quarterback overthrew the ball, and I read it, picked it off, and tried to get in the end zone, but I didn't really get to do that. So.
Good. All right, if anyone needs anything extra, let me know. Saturday, 2 o'clock kickoff here at Johnson Higgins Stadium.